few of you guys had a few more questions on exactly how the PAR system works. Now, the PAR system's a little bit difficult to just explain in one little video, so here we're going to go ahead and showcase it while opening these chests. Again, make sure you're in the fractal vice, and we're going to go ahead and showcase exactly how the PAR system works. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this chest piece right here. I want to try to get crit rate plus. I'm not 100% sure, I'm still testing it out on whether that plus can actually get transferred or if it will simply only transfer as crit rate 4. Now what we're working with right now is crit damage 4, crit rate plus, and shield resistance. Unfortunately, I don't really want the shield resistance, so if I roll the shield resistance, that's just going to be unfortunate. Now, I'm not 100% certain on whether if you grab a new piece of gear, if you have to reuse the PAR. For example, say I was working with this chest piece and I was using the PAR on this chest piece and I grabbed a new one. If I grab this one afterwards, I'm not sure if you have to reuse the PAR in order to reset it or if it locks in. That's going to take a little bit more testing. So to be safe, go ahead and pop a brand new PAR whenever you grab a brand new piece of gear. These materials are pretty easy to get, or you could just go ahead and finish out your PAR with your gear that you have right now. So we'll go ahead and put a brand new PAR on this chest just so you can see. As you see, this bar right here is now fully charged, and every time we open a chest, we have a chance to receive a tier 6 or a tier 8 piece of gear. I will open it right here, and if the bar doesn't go down, we know we got a tier 6 piece of gear, which means PAR was completely irrelevant. Unfortunately, we are getting unlucky. There, the next piece of gear, as you saw, the bar went down slightly, so PAR activated for this next piece. Unfortunately, it rolled the shield resistance. It rolled max HP, which was random, and defense, which was a random roll. So as you see, you're guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but you have a very high chance to get one of those three. Unfortunately, I rolled shield damage resistance well, but this is a kind of decent tank piece right here. Now I got one more chance right here to get something good, and let's check it out right here. Crit rate plus. Okay, so that confirms it. We are actually able to transfer the crit rate plus. So that is insane. If you guys can find some very good plus pieces, that's going to be what you're going to be looking for to get the best gear in the game. Now, I'm all out of chests, unfortunately, but let's just go ahead and go look at that one last time. So we started with this piece right here. As you saw, it had crit rate, shield resistance, and crit damage multiplier. And the piece that we got, as you see, actually isn't a chest piece. It is a head piece. So now I have a helm with crit rate and support plus. That is an insane piece to use the PAR system on for someone like this character right here, Semba. If you could get one with her skill, crit rate, and support, that would be insane. Maybe if you could roll crit damage in there as well, that would be very nice. So hopefully you guys can understand a little bit more how the PAR system works. It's very, very confusing, and I think it does help to see exactly it side by side like this. Again, I'm not 100% sure if you have to reuse the PAR. I think you do, because I was testing it a little bit, and I was getting my old piece of gear. But again, that's going to take a little bit more testing on that. Let me know down in the comments below if you know the answer to that. But just for safety's sake, if you want to start hunting for something else, do that. Now, another question that you guys have been asking is these skills, right? You get these tier 6 gears and they have these skills. Now, is it worth going for these skills, or is it better to be going for, like I'm doing right now, and going for crit rate plus crit damage gear? Now, in my opinion, I think it's better to focus on the crit rate, crit damage. We also have attack plus, maximum HP. I recommend farming for gear like attack plus, max HP, crit rate, crit damage first. The reason being is, look at this boost right here, 33% HP. That is really good. You're going to want plenty of characters with some HP, attack, and even some defense. Crit rate, crit damage is going to be used for your big DPS characters. And the skills, while they are very good, as you noticed from the gear that we were getting, we're pretty much only guaranteed one piece of gear or not one piece of gear, only one skill was guaranteed to move over. The other two are random. So if you look on my Inoki right here, I was actually trying to get a nice piece of gear on her. I went over that before. So I was farming stuff like here. I got lucky and I got crit rate plus, but then I got support right here. So that was a little bit unfortunate. This is still a really good piece of gear because I got two good stats. But for example, if instead of me searching for an ignition enhanced and I was using like an attack 4 or crit damage 4, this could be a great universal piece for like any character. While instead, since it's got support plus, I don't actually really want this piece that much. I'm looking for attack or crit damage for Inoki. I'm not really looking for support, right? This piece, if I would have gotten the skill, would have been nice on Senba. But unfortunately, if you're going for something with the skill, it's just a lot more, you have to be a lot more picky with it. So you're going to have a lot less chance to get the gear that you're looking for. So in my opinion, that's going to be like the end game farm, right? So I was trying to farm out overclock enhanced, and as you see, I have a ton, way too much overclock enhanced that has like a bunch of useless substats. Now, if you're lucky, you can get overclock enhanced with max HP 4. That's what you're looking for with this. But again, with the way that these stats give you 45% crit damage, 45% crit damage is like almost as good as just getting the overclock enhanced +1 for a character such as Kazuki. So I would recommend, at least for maybe the first few weeks, the first couple months, just focus on using the par system on a gear, something like this. Even if you get something like this is perfectly fine. 1 nice gold and 2 really good substats. If you want to start to become a little bit more risky, once you start to get some nicer gear, then start searching for the pluses. But don't just go for like, let me see if I can find something that's a decent yellow, but everything else on it is bad. Let's see. Something like this, right? So if you got one good something with a plus, like I have a nice support 4 right here, but the rest are bad, then don't use a par on this. Instead, use a par on something that has at least 2 yellows. And if you don't have anything with at least 2 yellows, then just go ahead and save your par system for now. As you saw in the previous videos, there is ways that you guys can farm out some tier 6 gears, even if you have a tier 6 gear that has some good substats. Let's see if we have one in here. I might not even have any because it's kind of hard to get it. But here's a good example. This is just a random little tier 6 piece. If you're looking for a nice little beginning stat right here, this is a nice start right here. Crit damage and support, a yellow and a purple. You use this until you get a few more crit damage rolls, and then eventually you will get a nice piece of gear like you saw we got earlier with something like this or something like this. It's just like you eventually will get the gear in the Fractal Vice, and you'll find the stuff for the par through just opening chests as well as farming the Fractal Vice as well. So what's my plans for now? I'm going to be using this piece because I want some more crit rate plus. If I can get lucky and get a nice crit rate plus crit damage with an attack, then I'm set. I'm going to be using that as my par for a long time. So unfortunately, I'm using this shield damage resistance, and previously, before I got this piece, I was running, where was the other one that I was running? I was running, just so you guys can see, you don't have to run the best stuff in order to get this. It was a little bit lower, wasn't it? I was running this one again. So I had attack plus, crit damage plus, and crit rate 3. So I was getting some nice gear, but I wasn't getting the best gear. And then eventually I rolled the crit damage multiplier, and I got lucky and rolled the crit rate plus. So just keep at it, guys. Keep rolling for that 1 or 2 specific good pieces of gear. And eventually, if you open enough chests, the par system will help you get the best gear in the game in no time at all, really. Anyways, hopefully you guys understand the par system a lot more now. And thank you guys again for watching.